My uncle dropped a news bomb on me about a secret that exposed some hidden facts about my family. I'll never forgive him for that, is our highlighted story of the day. But first, we look at a story about infertility and a miracle child, and then a stepdaughter who just doesn't seem to agree. Guys, my name's Mr. Reddito. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. Let's jump right into story number 1. My husband and I have been together for 14 years. He's 9 years older than me and has 2 kids from his first marriage, 23 and 20. Despite wanting it, I've never been able to carry a baby to term. One miscarriage several years ago, near the beginning of our marriage, and nothing since. No rhyme or reason for it, and my husband and I have come to terms with the fact that we won't add to the family. I was sad, but it is what it is. Things have been tough financially the last few years, so I consoled myself that it's for the best. Until, surprise! The week before my 35th birthday, I realized my period's late. I got a positive test, and I'm honestly over the moon. If you'll excuse the cliche, my husband's excited but wants us to wait to tell the family, which I agree with. I know the statistics, and I don't want to have to be fielding constant questions if I do miscarry. Both of my stepkids have what you might call, quote, failure to launch. Neither have went to college and seem happy living at home or with my mother-in-law, who's much more permissive than I am. My drama with my mother-in-law could fill a whole forum, but I won't focus on that other than to say that when I first became engaged to my now husband, I made it clear that I loved the kids and wanted to be a good mom. In retaliation to the first and only time my stepson called me mom, mother-in-law ignited a campaign of terror against me, using the kids as a weapon. Among other things, she paid them $10 every time they said something mean to me, and bragged about it to the rest of the family. So, the relationship I had with them has been definitely strained at times, and we missed a lot of years bonding. It is improving as they've gotten older and floated outside of her sphere of direct influence. I know they'll never see me as their mom at this point, but I'm happy with the relationship we've managed to scrape together despite it all. Or, at least I was happy with it. So, here I am, pregnant, happy, and planning a new piece of our life that I hadn't dared to hope for in 5 or 6 years. I let myself dream a little and go to a baby store where I cry a little bit and end up buying a soft gray blanket and a tiny pair of shoes. Later that same day, I had to unexpectedly pick up my stepdaughter from work. Cool, fine, no big deal. I stopped to get gas, and when I came back out, she's giving me the weirdest look. So, are you like pregnant or something? She dug into the bag when I was out of the car. I could have lied easily and said it was for a friend, but why would I want to lie about it? I asked her, "Can you keep a secret?" She promised she could, and I confirmed. Needless to say, it wasn't the happiest of responses. She just said, "Oh, wow, that's, weird," and was quiet the rest of the ride home. To say I was a bit deflated was an understatement, but she doesn't necessarily have to be happy about it. Me and my husband still can be all on our own. Even if nobody else celebrates, we can. A few days later and everything else is going along just fine. I'm counting down the days until the ultrasound. Everything seemed good. Until my stepson decides to show me a chat between him and my stepdaughter, where she was talking about how gross it is that I'm pregnant. It's embarrassing and everyone's going to assume it's actually her kid when we're out together. And just general, not very nice things. When she comes back home later, I come out to talk to her while she's watching TV with my husband. I'm trying to be chill, but my brain's going a million miles a minute. I asked her how she felt about the baby, and she responded with an eye roll. I ask again and tell her that I really want to know because I know it impacts her life too. She started getting irritated with me, and she says she's tired and had a long day, and could I just drop it? Maybe this is where I misstepped, but no, I can't drop it. I keep asking her to talk, and she's refusing, until she finally decides to drop a bomb. You should just get an abortion because this whole thing is ducking weird. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked at this point. I knew she wasn't delighted, but damn, what's a whole nother level? It was like getting smacked in the face with a sock full of nickels. I start crying and thanked her for being honest like an idiot, and then I leave the room. A little while later, my husband comes into the room where I'm sobbing my guts out. I assume he's going to try to comfort me or at least give me more context to soften the blow, which he does a lot when one of the kids says something awful to me. He sits down, puts his arm around me, and opens with this. Maybe we should consider it. Come again? What did you just say? He must see murder in my eyes because he rushes on with how happy he is. But we're not really in the best place financially, but he just started a new job. It's hard enough with 2 kids already. But the kids aren't on board. But. I told him over my dead body was a baby that I've wanted for 14 ducking years getting aborted over that. It's a miracle baby, not a contestant to be voted off the island. I said some other things that I'm not proud of, stuffed some clothes in a bag, and came to my parents' house. I've been here for 3 days now, and nobody's reached out to me. Not a freaking peep. I just don't even know where to go from here. I feel like I'm surrounded by insane people that are just looking out for their own interest. At least my parents are excited, I guess. I can't say that I am anymore. Alright guys, this story started intense, and there's still an update for it on the way. Let's talk about first the stepdaughter, who is completely out of bounds here. She's saying it's weird that OP's having a baby, but she's not considering that OP was not able to have a baby for literally a decade, and this is considered a miracle baby. Let's talk about OP's husband, who did not support her at all and basically said, I think we should have an abortion. Then, when she goes to her parents' house, he doesn't even contact her for 3 whole days? Guys, let me know what you make of this first part of the story. We're going to jump into update number 1 now. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying so far, do subscribe so you never miss any of these video updates. Here comes the update for this one. Sorry for the lack of update. I really didn't think that many people would find my situation that interesting, considering the bullcrap so many folks on this sub deal with, and the last few months have been kind of cruddy. Was that really just late October? As my story was last left, I'm 35 and I find myself pregnant with a very wanted surprise baby after many years of infertility. I have a rough relationship with my mother-in-law and 2 adult stepchildren. My stepdaughter finds out I'm pregnant, flips her lid, and tells me I need to abort it. My husband apparently agrees after hearing her opinion. I left to stay at my parents' house and have not heard from my husband in 3 days. To be honest, I did not want to see my husband at all. I had no desire after his quote confession. My radical act of self-care was ensconcing myself into my childhood bedroom, eating lots of potato chips and watching way too much Animal Planet. My parents, at least, were absolutely delighted over the pregnancy. I'm an only child and my mom has always wanted more but had infertility problems as well. They went with me to my first ultrasound. They cried with me. They bought me a cake. My dad carved a little pumpkin with an amorphous blob on it that looks suspiciously like that weird, amazing amorphous blob on the sonogram screen. It was so sweet. The day after the scheduled ultrasound and about 2 weeks of radio silence, I received a text from my husband saying that we need to talk, and I advised him that he could come talk to me in person. We chose to meet at a neutral public location as my parents did not really want his face darkening their doorstep. I agreed because I did not want him tracking figurative crap all over my safe place. So we talked, or rather, I talked. I informed him of how hurt I was, mostly by his agreement with Stepdaughter. He said he understood. I informed him that I would not be aborting the comfort of an overgrown toddler. He nodded his head sagely. I informed him how the ultrasound went, and he looked interested. I informed him that he and his children would be moving out of my house within 30 days. He was somewhat less in agreement of this point. Dear reader, I honestly have no ducks to give at this point. He had let me stew for days and days by myself. I'm not sure if his tactic was to let me suck myself into an anxiety vortex, as I'm wont to do, and come crying back as I have before. Just no more. I can only assume those days I spent buried beneath blankets served as a chrysalis, because I was not the same person when I went out as I went in. I wanted them out of my house, the house that I bought before our marriage, the house that was in only my name. Those bricks were designed to hold happiness, not petty comments and miserable people disguising their own black hearts with my tendency to see the best in them. It was mine, and as selfish as I'm sure someone will tell me it was mine alone to fill as I choose, and I no longer chose them. I wish I could say that my story ends with me happily getting fat and filling up a nursery with a baby, but it's not that kind of story. Around the time my husband and his kids moved their last box out, an ultrasound confirmed that my baby did not survive. To say I was devastated would be an understatement, but at least I had my own space to grieve. Not only for my baby, but for the family and marriage that had been my life for almost 15 years. I'm going to be okay. I am okay. I'm also sad and discouraged and more than a little hollow, but I'm no longer held down by 300 plus pounds of dead weight inside my house. Well, guys, I can't tell if this update took a turn for the good for OP or it was for the worse. I just can't stop thinking about the baby that didn't make it, and it deeply saddens me that OP still can't be a mother. However, I'm glad she finally got away from it seems like a narcissistic type husband, and he had so many red flags. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys think OP made the right decision. Now she's grieving alone in her own home, but like she said, at least there's not 600 pounds of dead weight in her home. I hope you guys enjoyed that story, and just so you know, I started a second channel. If you're not a fan of the animation, and also the animation takes a little longer to make the videos, so I wanted to give back to you guys even more. The other channel will have 2 videos a day, and it's the old school style, which is just text and my voice. You can find that in the description below. Go subscribe to that and don't miss out on those stories. Okay guys, here comes the highlighted story of the day. I'm 19 male and a product of an affair. I just learned this story 2018 around Easter time. My dad had an affair that resulted in him getting his mistress pregnant and having me. My mom relied on him financially and already had 3 kids, including a newborn by him, so she stayed. My dad started co-parenting relationship and ended the affair with the other woman. When I was around 2, my biological mother ran away. We think to her home country, but we really don't know. I honestly could not care less and don't have any desire to find her. After my biological mom left, my mom was willing to take me into her house and raise me as her own son. I'm sure this must have been hard for her, as I've seen a picture of my bio mother, and I'm a dead ringer for her and even have the masculine version of her name. As I said, I did not know this, and I only found out because I got into a public fight with my mom at our family's Easter dinner when I was 16. I couldn't tell you what it was about, but I do know the next day I got a call from my mom's brother who let me hear it about how ungrateful I was being to the woman who raised me after my real mom abandoned me. Of course, I was confused and went to my parents, who told me everything. This news broke me for so long. I felt like a stranger in my house and like a monster to my mother. My older brothers both knew, but my older sister did not, and our entire extended family knew about me. I shouldn't have learned about it this way. This is why I have never forgiven my uncle for telling me in anger. Apparently, he did not know I didn't know, so almost everyone in our family except my sibling think I should forgive him. I saw him again last weekend, and I refused to accept his apology, which led to my cousins and aunt and dad pressuring me just to forgive him. I didn't and still won't. Am I the a-hole? Guys, I'm going to say, in my opinion, not the a-hole. I agree with OP. This is not the way he should have found out. I think that the uncle was trying to inflict pain on a 16-year-old kid. This uncle was a full-grown adult, and out of a pit of rage, he released some knowledge that should not have been said like that. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comment section down below. Ultimately, I just think it's a horrible, toxic situation, and I wish the best for OP. Guys, that's all the content I have for you today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an update. Smash that like button, have a great night, and guys, don't forget, try something new every day. Have a great night.